Tom did that. He was
It's late, Tom. Turn it
Call
on
now.
Call now.
Right here.
Get this
Do
car
it.
now.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah. I think the thing that I hope everybody comes away with is that if you're passionate about something, find a way to include it in your life. And passionate, not just passionate, but something that brings you joy.
Mm-hmm.
If you find something that brings you joy and that you're passionate about, you'll be able to make a living.
Yeah.
And even if you're doing it on the side, you might have to get a job at Blip Printers doing.
doing
Blip Printers wasn't bad, but I mean doing something that you really don't have an interest in, working at a place like that, but then do the stuff you love on the side until you're able to make it work. I should have confirmed.
You're good. You're good. You're good, man. All right.
I don't know if I've got those on right.
All right, Danny.
There we go. Oh, that's better.
And you want to bring this mic as close as possible to you itself.
Oh, yeah. I like this arm.
Yeah, it's very nice arm.
It is. It's sturdy.
It's a nice sturdy arm. And I also, you know what's funny? Let me turn this up a little bit. I like to kind of see. You can also turn up the audio on the headphones.
Oh, that's separate from.
Yeah, you can kind of control how loud it is and so forth.
Sounds really good. Man, we sound awesome.
I know. That's why I was like, this is great. This is ba-ba-ba-boo. Ba-ba-ba-boo. I'm going to include all of this, Danny.
Oh, good. That's why I did it. I was showing off my ba-ba-boom.
Ba-ba-booms. I also have this podcasting app, and it's got questions.
So great.
Yeah, and it's this kind of...
Because that would be really awkward if we just sat here like...
What are we going to talk about? No, these are interesting questions that I kind of liked, and I'm just going to save them basically. And then we can just what I was thinking was let me find that. Where's my favorite ones? Where are you at?
Where are you? Questions.
Custom deck. Okay, I have 46 cards in here. Okay. All right, here we go.
Perfect.
These are such good questions because it makes you think outside the box and so forth. So basically, here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to do a clap. That'll synchronize the audio on both of the cameras. Oh, you know what? Now I'm thinking, am I recording?
Oh, I didn't see you hit record, but I know you're recording on this one. Yeah. But you might not need that one over there. That's my camera, and then you could just put a smiley face of me.
See,
okay.
This is kind of like I have an OCD, I think.
No, that's better than I've recorded things before, and then afterwards found out I didn't hit the record button.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
That is the worst.
That does happen, and it's then you got to tell the other person.
I'm sorry, we got to redo that.
I'm sorry.
Why?
Yeah,
I forgot to turn on the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a perfect take.
Yeah, and then when they do it again, it's not as good as the first take.
Yeah, but you feel so guilty.
Yeah, you do feel guilty.
Missed the first one that you're like, that'll work.
That'll work.
And the whole time you're like, I wish I would have.
I wish I got the first cut itself. That's so true. Okay. So
now we're ready.
Clap again. That's not a. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a
better.
lot of clap.
That was
That's
way
a lot of. I'm not doing a good clap.
Yeah,
okay.
Make sure you get the right one.
All right. Let's finally start this. Okay. Welcome to a new podcast. This is podcast I've done 18, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you're 19 now.
19's a good number.
It's a lot. I've done a lot. It's crazy. This podcasting is it's so much fun because then you get to just talk to people and you're like, that's a video.
Yeah, and that makes the editing much easier.
Yeah. Let me tell you about the editing. The editing is so easy because I'm just basically going back and forth to the other person and so forth. I had a third camera, but then I was like, not necessary. You can always just cut back and forth.
Yeah.
And people do enjoy it. It really depends on who the guest is, and it's like, oh, what are they going to talk about here? So I don't know. We'll see how this one goes.
I was just going to ask, what do your viewers like? What are some of their favorite things to watch?
That's a good question. I don't know.
we want to entertain them today.
Yeah.
Or at least get them to think.
Yeah, exactly. I guess the first thing they want to know is who the guest is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think somebody watching this video, they're going to be like, who the heck is this guy?
That guy's pretty random.
Yeah, this guy's pretty random.
And he kind of is.
Yeah. So this is Danny.
Yes.
And what's your last name, Danny?
It's Loughmiller.
Loughmiller.
But it depends. Some of the family says Loughmiller. Some of the family says Loughmiller.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always say Danny, and then it's just kind of like mumble the rest.
Yeah, the Miller part.
Danny Miller or Danny Langdorf. I always kind of mumble that off.
Yeah, I liked what you gave me. I might go by that now.
Yeah.
Langdorf. Danny Langdorf.
I'm Danny Langdorf. So, Danny, I guess let's kind of maybe roll back history back a little bit. The first time I ever kind of like ran into you was I was working at KRRS.
Yes.
It was like an IT support place, right? And we went around and we did IT support for local businesses around here. And we basically were just kind of like, one day I would be working at like a doctor's office. Another day, like KMVT. I used to do like IT stuff for KMVT.
Like a little segment they had,
no, like actually their IT infrastructure.
Oh.
We had access to the servers because like they were hiring KRRS to go ahead and manage the servers and things like that and run the network and things like that. So yeah, it would be like dentists, KMET, anybody that had a small business or so forth. We would come out and fix their networking problems. Also, people that had a broken computer, they would come bring it to me, into my office at, it was like on Main Street somewhere.
Yeah, it wasn't too far away from here.
Not too far away from here, like a block away or something like that.
And I even remember the owner's name. It was Owen, wasn't it? Owen? Yeah. Totally remember Owen.
Yes. So basically, I guess how.
So I worked at KMBT.
No. I think you worked at Cable One. You worked at Cable One because I remember it was like the Cable One office, and I stopped by.
Okay, so
and then I remember we wanted to do a commercial, and then Danny, right here. You did commercials for everybody, right? Like, how many commercials would you say you've done around Twin Falls?
That is a very good question. I've been doing it for, it's crazy how old I'm getting.
Yeah, time flies,
about
man.
20 years.
You've been doing 20 years video stuff.
Yes. And there are people that have been doing it much longer in the Valley, and they're really good at it.
Yeah.
About 20 years. I've been doing videos.
How did you even start doing videos? Let me ask you this question. Did you go to school for this, or what was your first video editing gig or video? Because you're like a video editor / video shooter. You do both, basically.
Oh yeah. Video editing is my favorite. That's what I feel like I'm really good at. But video, shooting video is something I had to learn to do. Man, so
how did all this start is basically where I'm kind of going. Is did you just go to school for it and then you got a job at KMVT, or how did that go?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
So originally I went to school as a music major. I was going to be a musician, and ended up. Oh, did you hear that music? I started talking about music majoring, and then
I think she's playing some music slightly up there.
So I went to school as a music major for a semester, and then I was like, this isn't gonna work. I don't know if I have the skills to be able to make money and take care of a family with this. So I changed to generals.
Yeah. Did
a semester of that, and then I went on a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for 2 years.
Okay.
So when I came back, I remember I was in Argentina, and I had this really strong desire to. I just wanted to tell stories, and I've always loved telling stories, and I've always loved making videos and stuff. We used to do fun videos with a VHS camera that my parents had, but it was when I got back. That's when I decided I was going to make movies. That was my only
Yeah, you're like,
I'm going to make movies.
I'm going to make movies.
Yeah, I'm going to be Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. So you liked the idea because you wanted to tell a story.
Yes.
And so then what happened? So did you go back to school and you're like, I want to be a videographer?
So I got back from Argentina and decided to follow this girl that I knew.
What do you mean follow her? You were stalking her or something? Like we were in the bushes?
Yeah, she probably felt like that. There was a gal that I had met before my mission that we were really close.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I'm going to move down to Utah. She lived down in Utah and was going to BYU. I didn't have good enough grades to get into BYU, so I went to a college called UVSC, which is now Utah Valley University.
Okay.
But the thing that was cool about UVSC was that it was a trade school. That's how it started. It used to be Utah Valley Technical College or something like that. And so I went to this school and I ran into a guy. I was working full-time and going to school. And one of the guys I worked with was a multimedia communications technology grad, or he was studying that at UVSC.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, what is that? And he was like, you should do it. It is the funnest. And what it was is video production, live TV production, website development, anything multimedia.
Media.
Yeah. So that's really where it all started.
So you ran into this guy.
And ran into a guy at work, and he was like, you want to make movies? Well, come and do this. I was like, well, that's not, I thought there was go to film school. That was kind of the path I was thinking I'd have to do.
So you then learn all your stuff in Salt Lake City?
I learned it in Orem, Utah.
Is where
Utah Valley.
Okay.
But it's all one big
it's
place.
One big city, basically.
It's a big bloated city.
So how long did you go to school for that then?
So I went to school. That's another fun question. I went to school for that for 2 years at Utah Valley State College and had my associates. And then I decided I want to be electrical engineer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I totally moved to Boise. Yeah, it was weird. I don't know why.
You're like, I want to be. So you were learning about like wiring electricity and things like that. You know what's funny? Cody did that too. He did a 180. I've been looking at electricity stuff too. It's so fascinating.
Yeah, it was. I remember. I think the first iPhone had come out or something like that, and I just thought, oh, that'd be really fun to design,
make or so forth, figure it out.
Yeah.
Be an electrical engineer. You wanted to be an engineer, I guess, then, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Figuring things out and making stuff.
Yeah. So cool. That's what I went back to school to do that. And, or not back to school. I got my associates, decided to transfer to Boise. Man, that was hard. We had our first kid and I was like, this is not going to work. So I went back to UVSC.
Yeah.
I was only there for a year, I think.
In Boise?
In Boise, a year or a semester. It was not very long. Moved back to Utah to finish up my multimedia communications degree.
Gotcha.
And so anyway, I finished that up there. Actually, didn't.
How did you get here then? So you were in Salt Lake,
Yeah. I actually, I'm lying a little bit. I didn't finish. I was raising... we were raising a new kid. I was a new dad. I was going to school full time, and we had a family. Anyway,
you
family,
had obligations. You're like, this is a lot of juggling that you were doing, basically.
Yeah. So the stress was pretty high, and I had a nervous breakdown. My poor ex. We're not married anymore. That's how bad it was. Yeah. she wasn't too excited about that.
Yeah.
But after that, I moved. So I was 1 semester away from graduating.
Okay.
And had the last semester, the easiest semester for this program, actually. And I had a nervous breakdown. So my parents actually came up. I was grateful. I'm so blessed to have wonderful parents. They came up and got me.
Yeah.
And brought me back to Twin.
Okay.
So I could
kind of like,
get things leveled again.
Level it out.
Well, fortunately, my wife at the time decided to move to Twin Falls, and we lived in Twin Falls for a little bit. And so anyway, that's how I got back to Twin.
Okay, but okay. So then you're back in Twin. Things are kind of calming down and so forth. Then was your first job at KMVT then?
No. I moved, I started working at, I don't know why. I think I was just looking for any job, but there was a place called Blip Printers.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I mean, it hasn't,
Yeah.
it hasn't been gone that long, but Blip Printers was one of the bigger printer places in the valley. They did some really cool things, and I applied for a job as just a customer service person up front.
Yeah.
Just before that, I had decided that I was going to try starting my own business.
Okay.
And so I had purchased a really expensive laptop on credit and all this stuff. So I was making videos on the side for years and years and years.
For like people or businesses? Or
for businesses. I had one guy approach me one time, paid me like a lot of money, like $2,000. Well, I mean, for me, it was a lot of money. It was like $2,000.
You're like, I'll do it.
I'll do it. And he had me put together a DVD and for him. And then he disappeared. I think he was a crook or something. So he paid me, and then he ran from the law.
Okay.
So anyway, I benefited
story.
from that. Yeah. But so I was doing lots of little things like that.
Yeah, just kind of like little side hustles kind of deal. Like, oh, I'll do a video for you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So even though I was working at Blip Printers, there was a guy named Mark Bork that did a lot of production in the Valley. He did a lot of the stuff for First Fed and stuff like that. A really talented producer.
Okay.
And I had been one of the classes I had taken was DVD authoring. They don't even teach that anymore.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was like, who does that anymore? I do remember like needing to take like a finished file and then converting it into a DVD, so that way and then there's like a software, and then they would have the DVD authoring is like where you have the menus and then you get to pick what happens if somebody clicks that.
Yes,
so
and
forth.
That's what I mean. I was probably the only one maybe not the only one in town. I'm sure there was.
Hey, I knew how to do it too, man.
I was the only one in town.
No.
But yeah, like it was really cool because Mark. Fortunately, I ran into Mark. Mark was like, "I need this DVD." It was for a video that he made for Shoshone Falls. So there's
Shoshone Falls.
There's a video on the Shoshone Falls that he made that they sell down there.
Oh.
And I made the DVD menu for that.
Whoa. Okay, listen up, people. Go to so when it's currently closed now, but like spring, when you go down to Shoshone Falls, there's like a booth over there. It's like a little concession stand. And if you see a DVD, remember. Probably my it's so funny because like when I was like when I would listen to TV, I would hear your voice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you would because like you with the commercials, because you would voice over commercials. So if you're like, I've heard this guy's voice before, it's because he did a lot of we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So anyways, then so you were still working at Blip Printers.
So I was working at Blip Printers. This is how I got to KMVT.
Oh.
So I was working at Blip Printers. I had applied at KMVT.
Tough time to get into KMVT to be like a video editor times.
Oh, yeah.
Like because now it's kind of like how they do it now is like the person that's like the reporter. The reporter does the editing, the scripting, everything. It's like, give me the final file. So if you're like wanting to be a KMVT editor, it's typically like you're doing your whole story. You're a reporter. Reporters do this. And then they also have like a studio kind of deal where it's like where they're like pushing camera 1, camera 2, bouncing back to cameras and so forth. That's a whole different department itself. And it was just very fascinating to watch that as it's happening because they're like editing live and they have like a script that they're following, and it's like
completely different world. It's way more high stress.
Oh yeah, it's like I'm like, you're editing on the spot here. And it's live too, you know?
They were editing, I want to say they were editing straight to tape, like these big old tapes.
Oh, really?
So you couldn't even like go in and cut it up. Like if you do lives now, it goes onto a timeline on a computer, and you can go in and adjust things. But at the time it was
crazy.
But I wasn't actually in that department. Anyway, what happened was I applied at KMVT, didn't get the job, but about, I want to say it was like 6 months later, I got a call from a guy named Mitch who did get the job.
Okay.
And he called me up and asked me to come and work with him basically our department was in charge of making commercials.
Oh yeah, that's true. I totally forgot about that whole different department. So like KMVT has like a department that just makes commercials.
Yes.
Versus the report. So the reporters have their like stories that they do, but then there's also another department that basically makes commercials.
Yeah. So
I feel like we're doing a pitch here for KMVT. Somebody at KMVT here is like, yeah, that's exactly how it works. Come buy some ads with us.
Yeah. And at the time I worked with two guys that were kind of legends to me. Were Tom Frank. I didn't know Tom.
Yeah.
But I knew his voice. You'd hear his voice on commercials.
Yeah.
And then, oh my goodness, it'll come to me.
Yeah,
I just had his name in my his voice. They still both
you're talking about
Paul.
Paul. Yeah. Paul. He's got that. He's like a radio
he's got
guy.
That voice.
Yeah. He does some radio stuff now.
Oh
he's like, this is he's got the voice. He's like and blah 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 blah.
Well, you make it sound way worse than it was. His voice was way better.
It's not, but
that was a good try.
Yeah, but he's got that deep voice.
Yeah.
Welcome. Yeah, I don't know. You gotta hear it. You'll know the voice when you hear it.
Yeah, when you hear Paul's voice, maybe right here is where you can throw in a segment of his voice. Yeah. Like here it is, right here.
It is.
I'm gonna do an impression of Paul, and then you throw in a real voice.
Yeah, I'm gonna do an impression of Paul.
Visit KMVT.com and let the property professionals at Canyonside Irwin.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what he sounds like.
Yeah, that's exactly what he sounds like. I like it. You're making me do more editing now.
Yeah, I know. That's what you're
now
welcome.
I gotta cut this and then find a clip of Paul saying something and voice over me.
Piece of cake. You could probably call him and have him just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Welcome to Arnell. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, maybe I should. Like, hey, Paul, listen, I'm gonna need you to just say something really quick.
So
So then they're like, we want you to help make commercials, and then you're like, yes.
I said I will do it, and I'll try to shorten this up because 20 years.
I like to hear the whole story. This is very fascinating.
Well, this is cool because I was in the marketing department. I said the marketing. I can't remember what they call it, but sales. It was sales.
Sales.
It was the sales department.
Yeah.
So the producers were me, Mitch, Tom, and Paul did the voiceovers.
Yeah, voiceover.
And Tom had a style that was very fast. He worked, it may have been way before your time, but because I can't remember how old you are, but
I'm very young. I'm just 21, Danny.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But there was a there was a car lot called Latham Motors. He was the one that worked with, there was a guy that used to say, call now.
Oh, yeah. I remember this commercial.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Those commercials.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. We got to
Tom.
find a clip of that.
Yeah. Tom did that. He was...
it's Latham.
Yeah.
Call now.
Right here.
Get this car now.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, geez, all right, we got to go get a car. I think it was kind of pretty effective. But, they're like, if you think about it, like those kind of like, you don't really see those kind of like commercials anymore. Yeah. And he was like the guy.
Yeah.
He was the guy that did those commercials. Like,
yeah, he wasn't the one in front of the camera. That was, I can't remember the name of that actor.
I don't know if I could ever even get somebody to do that anymore on a video anymore.
No,
it's like
Tom was amazing. He produced very high energy, very quick.
Yeah, it was high energy. Car ads. Get this car for $299.
Yeah,
and then would show prices, and then oh my God, I kind of want to
big numbers flashing on the screen.
Yeah, I want to do one of those commercials now.
We should totally do.
We could do. We'll go to like a car. If you're a car dealership, me and Danny will show up, and you got to give us an. We want you to act like this,
dude. I will do that with you.
Yeah,
for a car lot. If it's one that I like.
Yeah. You're like, kidding. If it's the one that I like, it has to be a good one. We don't want any shady cart.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we want fair prices.
That's
but anyways,
right.
so keep going.
Yeah, so Tom did those type of videos. Mitch was very similar in his style. He did videos like that. My very first
what was your very first ad
commercial?
Do you remember this?
Oh yeah, because I remember going. They handed me the camera, and the cameras that I had used in the past were cheap. Ones that I could afford.
Yeah, these are like expensive cameras.
This was a $45,000 camera, and it had a $45,000 lens. I don't know. I might be way blowing that out of the water, but there was a lot of manual stuff to adjust on there, and I didn't know how to do that.
Oh, so
the color balance and stuff like that. Now, I had done it at school, but very little. The cameras we were using were
slightly cheaper. They're not like as professional as KVT was probably using. You're talking about like those
very
giant
much.
ones.
I was using a mini DV camera, which has a tape about this big, which is really tiny. And they were using a Beta cam, which has a big old tape. Anyway, I went and shot this commercial for, it was a jeweler. It is...
Jensen Jeweler?
It's not Jensen's. It was... I can't remember. It'll come to me.
Okay.
But I went and filmed it with my daughter and my friends and my family. And the idea of, I wrote the script up. It was the first commercial script I'd ever written up.
Yeah.
Because I was a music major, I'd listen to a piece of music and go off of my feelings. Yeah. Okay, this feels like the right mood, and I'm gonna. So it was about jewelry as a memories. It talks about memories and how memories are precious things. I even kind of remember some of the words. Memories are precious things. They give us wings to fly. And I show my daughter in a tire swing, and she's swinging. It's in slow motion. It gives us wings to fly. Gives us something to try. I can't remember. And then and at the very end, there's a man putting a piece of jewelry on his wife's neck, and she turns around and kisses him. And
you're really good at like scripting and having the vision ahead. I hardly ever do that. I just let whatever happens.
Yeah, and I'm not great at just letting things happen.
You're like,
no, here we go. But I remember taking the footage back, and Tom said, "This footage is horrible," and he was right.
He didn't like it.
The color was off. Because I didn't color balance.
Oh yeah, you need to put the white balance on.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't even know that was a thing. And then, I had her head cut off, and
not the correct framing.
Well, for him, what he's used to, he's like, hey, you're showing this. I'm showing you a car ad, and you show the whole car, and you show the parts of the car. I was doing a
more like, let me show you close up, kind of like different scenes, I guess.
Yeah, we were doing a feel good ad, or we were selling an emotion, not an item.
Yeah.
And because I was doing that, and again, I was just kind of going off.
They probably would offset him because what is this guy doing?
Well, and I'm sure he's done those before, but again, it was bad footage. It was not great footage. But like I said, I'm a really decent editor.
Yeah.
And I had the color set up so that there was just portions that had color. So it was black and white with just a few things that had some color. And it turned out amazing.
Yeah, you're like, this is good. I told you guys.
Yeah, I remember AP Rungan was the sales rep. And she was very supportive. So that was the other thing. I just had a really supportive team that that was like, good, we'll make this work. And it did. It turned out to be amazing. And ever after that, I was putting out some things that I was just really proud of. They turned out really good. They were different. Not all of them were winners.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about, I kind of find this fascinating because I remember one time I went to this thing that you did at CSI, and you were like showing all the commercials you were doing. I wish you had that PowerPoint presentation, you could be showing, check this out.
I do.
You do?
I actually do. I think.
Yeah, you're like, I can find it here. Yeah, if you want to bust it out, we can look at some of that.
Okay. I'll see, while you're asking your question, I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, so I do remember, because again, Danny here is like, if you watch TV and you watch stuff that's on KMVT, you've seen his commercials.
Well, 20 years ago.
Like
a while ago.
It's like this is almost kind of like nostalgia, almost kind of hitting you, and it's like, I do remember this commercial. And it's so funny because like some of these commercials, like if you see them, you're like, I do remember this. Because, some of these commercials, they're like, are ingrained in your brain. You know what I mean?
Dude, I remember, okay, that being said, let's talk about when we met.
Oh, okay.
Only because, history-wise, right after KMVT, I went to work for...
So after that, so basically what happened is, I'm assuming, is Cable One was like, we do ads as well, too. Let's see if we...
Well, no, I went to work for a guy named Brian Kroner, who had a company called Marketing Resource Group, and he was amazing. I had edited some things for him at... KMVT. He'd come to KMVT, have us edit them. But he wrote all the scripts and stuff. He was amazing. I learned a ton from him on marketing.
Oh, okay.
And then what
kind of stuff was he doing?
He was doing, Elevation 486?
Yeah.
I remember he did a commercial. That was one of the things I edited, was a commercial promoting the building for Westera, building Elevation 486.
Oh,
something like that.
So so basically, like KMVT would also take other people's videos too, I'm assuming, right? Like they would like take a final ad as well too.
Yeah,
it didn't have to be really through them. It could be like a freelancer could come in and do a video for you, and then you provide that to them as well too.
Well, the sales people would go to a business and say, "Hi, Twin Beans.
Yeah.
I would like to." Offer you some, we want to help you get your name out there.
Yeah.
Is there anything you're trying to promote? And they're like, oh yeah, we have this thing coming up. And so they say, well, we can sell you some time on our network to get it out to people. And this is a great time to do it. Do you have a commercial already made?
Yeah.
If they didn't have a commercial made,
then they would come in.
They would,
because like most people don't have, most people don't have like their own videographer that can knock it out or so forth. So it's like, we have a videographer, it'll come out.
Yeah, we can come and shoot it.
And then that was you basically.
Yeah. Yep.
So
I'd sit down with them and come up with an idea, try to figure out how
long would this typically take you to do?
I'm slow compared to some people out there.
Yeah.
Very slow.
Like,
so I would always have a pre-production meeting, talk to them, go back. This is the part that was slow, is I'd sit and I'd kind of look at their what their message was. I try to figure out who they were trying to reach, do all that pre-production stuff, and then I'd write up a couple of ideas, throw those ideas at them. They'd say, I like this one. They'd come back, write the script for it, send that back to them. We'd get a bunch of pre-approval. Once we had it pre-approved, I'd set up a shoot. We'd shoot it. I'd edit it. And so they'll send it off for approval. They'd approve it or make changes, and then...
so much work.
Yeah,
so
it'd
much
take...
work.
It was about a week.
About a week?
From start to finish. But I mean, I could work on other people's projects at the same time.
Yeah, because
KMVT was really good at like powering through. Yeah, just really getting a lot out.
Get it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I didn't. That was the answer to that question. I think. Was that the answer?
What did I say?
Yeah. So after.
So you were talking to this other guy who was making you do some other stuff, and then basically...
So I went he actually asked me if I'd come and work for him full-time, set up his video department. So I did.
Okay.
It was a small... it was him and two other people that worked there, I believe. And
you sure this is not Luis you're talking about?
Because after I worked for Marketing Resource Group for about a year, I left and went to work for Luis Vargas at Midnight Productions.
And he does all kinds of stage and lighting stuff now. I don't know if you've ever...
He's amazing.
He's got all kinds of cool equipment. I'm like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, I've been doing it for 20 years. He's been doing it for 300. Maybe not. He's not very old, but I don't think he's much older than I am. But he's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, he's It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you then work for him.
I worked for him for a couple of months, I think. And then I was like, I wasn't bringing in I wasn't working very much.
Yeah.
Because I had some family stuff going on. And so I just felt guilty staying there. He was paying me really well.
Yeah.
Better than what I was making at the other place. I just didn't feel like I was bringing value to his company.
Yeah.
So I went and started working at Fred Meyer's, stocking shelves.
Yeah.
I applied at Cable One, got a job with Cable One, but I had to move to Idaho Falls. Cable One was amazing. I worked there for 7 years.
So you had to move to Idaho Falls?
Idaho Falls, yeah.
Oh, wow. I had no idea that you did that. So you worked at Idaho Falls first.
Yeah, for 5 years.
5 years over there?
I think, was it 5 years? Something like that. And then I went through, that's when I went through my divorce. So it was just me and my 2 kids.
Okay.
And so I moved back to Twin, and Cable One was kind enough to make a position here for me. They didn't have a producer in Twin, but they made a position for me. I moved to Twin. I had a lot of fun. That's where we met.
Yeah.
And that's where I wanted to say, you think my commercials were good. You should see the commercial. I went to KRRS to make a commercial, and
So how did that even transpire? I guess Owen, all right, he probably was like, we need a commercial.
Yeah.
And then I guess he wanted me to be in it or something. So then basically he was like, he said you had already done one with him, right?
Yes, we did one where he it was a speed thing where it was talking about, do you have a blah, 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 and need this.
Yeah.
And he was all writing really fast on the screen, designing your system.
And then it was like showing you like, oh, we've made it so that, for your IT needs, if you need to have like a mobile workforce in like trucks or like those vans.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, it was basically, it's like, we can make it so that you can print your receipts and do all your automation from the truck itself, basically.
Yeah, it was really cool what they were able to do, and the story was easy to tell because you guys had created a really cool, unique service, and so it was really easy commercial. So the second commercial that we did for you guys, I didn't do anything. It was Ornell. He is an amazing artist. This guy can. He's just good at everything he does. But one of the things
is just a hype man here.
I am not. He made a commercial. He was like, this, here's this. Maybe could we use this as a commercial? Oh my gosh. Yeah. He had animated. I don't know if you drew it or used Flash.
This was in Flash when I was all into Flash. We did this whole Flash thing.
It was amazing. And it was just this great animation with this. I think you went on Fiverr and got the voiceover or something. You got a voiceover for
voiceover. I found a guy that did the voiceover, and then I was like, "What do you think about this?" And you're like, "My job is done. You did everything for me."
Yeah, it was the best commercial. Yeah. And so anyway.
I remember,
my first
the first time, I remember the first time you came into, because I was doing IT stuff, and I was always like, I want to do video stuff, and I was like on this path of IT, and it was very hard to get out of, know,
because you were so good at it. You were really good at it.
I'm just too good at everything that I do. That's my problem.
It's hard. Yeah. You're stuck doing everything.
I'm stuck doing everything, So I remember we planned out, we want to shoot the video exactly like this. And I was like, we need a scene like this. Remember a scene like this? We were kind of looking at I looked at a whole bunch of other ones, and I was like, we kind of want to make it like this. This is the best one we saw. And then we were just kind of trying to replicate its feel and so forth, how it kind of went. And I think you did a really good job. I think I still have that commercial. Maybe I'll play it a little bit now.
My hard drive is dead.
Do I have enough?
My computer died. Where are my files?
Why can't I get it running?
When you have questions, KRRS Systems has the answers. As a Microsoft certified system engineer for over a decade, you can count on the staff at KRRS Systems to get your computer running like new. Every diagnosis is free because we never charge to tell you your computer is broken. Visit krrs.com to learn more about all the great services we offer.
Here's me opening up a box. Danny would get a different angle shot. So it's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah, and I remember you would like okay, we'll just call some people. We'll just use them as like stand-ins or so
background people
or something. Somebody that brings in.
We call those talent.
Call some talent.
Yeah, call a talent in.
So we kind of met with that. That's how we first met, and then then I remember you did that whole thing with like showing like, look at all these videos that I've done. I was like, these are so good. I think you're like one of the best editors in town itself. There's,
thank you.
Yeah.
I disagree, but I
will disagree. But I'll take.
But
that.
I will take that. I'm a good one. I'm a good editor.
Yeah,
there's a lot of talent in.
Danny is really good at telling a story itself, and I kind of find it fascinating that like you have it all envisioned in your head. I usually am like the opposite. I shoot whatever, and then I try to get the edit after the fact.
Which I don't know
if a whole different thing.
I can't remember if I told you, but I have a teenage daughter. Mm-hmm. I've showed them my daughter and my son and my other kids. My kids. I've showed them my stuff, and I'm like, "Look how cool this is! Isn't this hilarious?" Or whatever it is, and they're like, "Yeah, it's okay, Dad.
It's all right."
Well, one time I showed them. I showed Sabrina one of your videos that you had made. It was I can't remember which one.
Is it like a montage video?
Yeah, it was of traveling.
Oh, yeah.
Idaho.
I do a lot of montage traveling. It's like, bam, bam. It probably gets people excited.
Yes, Sabrina was like, I love that. it makes me excited to live here. And that's not Sabrina. She likes big cities. And so you do.
Kind of like inspiring people. You know what's funny? Like, I think CSI wanted me to do like a thing like about being a YouTuber. I was like, I don't know if I can do this, like.
Oh, it totally could.
Yeah, I probably could, but it's like then I would be like setting kids on a path where because the thing is like kids' dreams.
Yeah.
Is to be a YouTuber,
and it's not easy being a YouTuber.
It's not easy being a YouTuber. Mm-hmm. Like they think because the thing is like the kids see this final product.
Oh yeah.
And then it's so much fun, but there's a lot of behind the scenes that they don't really like.
There's a ton of work.
There's a ton of work that goes behind this. It's like when you watch a video, this is the final result. But actually getting there, doing that, recording all the angles, telling the story, it's as much work or sometimes even
way
more work.
I can't remember what the stats are, but it was something like every minute or
every minute is an hour probably.
No, no, it's more than that. It's like every second of movie is an hour of work or something like that, and that's probably way low. And I think your videos, I know for sure that your videos
sometimes I put so much effort in it, and nobody really sees like the amount of work that goes behind it.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. People are kind of they're like trained into saying, "Oh, it's just a video," but it's like
it's because there's so much video out there now. There's so much. So you would do a great job teaching how to be a YouTuber.
How to be a YouTuber.
But being a YouTuber isn't for everybody. No. It's a lot of work, and you've got to be passionate, and you got to have a thick skin.
Yeah. You got to be able to take comments like in a pya pya pya.
Yeah, like
doesn't affect me. Yeah, whack comments out of here.
You'll have to edit those in. Comments flying in, and you're knocking them off.
No.
Now you have to do it.
No. We do not edit this. Telling my future self that. But yeah, so I mean, I feel like it is. I can tell you, it's way more fun than IT. I can tell you that. So if you're in IT and you're like, maybe I do want to be a videographer, it's more fun. And it's always telling a story. That's the other thing. Is like if you want to if you like telling stories, this is a way to do it.
Yeah. In fact, if you the cool thing about video is it is something that's accessible to everybody. Mm-hmm. It's a great way to communicate.
Yeah.
For almost everybody. I had a friend at work that her name's Stephanie, and she hates being in front of the camera. Mm-hmm. And or not just in front of the camera, in front of people in general. But she asked me, I have to give a presentation in front of the whole company.
Yeah.
I am petrified. Can you help me put this put something together. Can I pre-record it?
Yeah.
And we did this pre-recording, and it turned out so good that they've actually shown it at other meetings.
Oh.
So she went from being scared to death of being in front of people to having a video that is played
all the time.
a couple of times throughout the year, and she's totally fine.
Yeah, they're like, you're a natural. Come on, do more.
So that's something that's exciting about
it's
video.
also interesting that anybody can be a YouTuber. They just like, the thing is, people have a phone.
Yes.
Everybody has a good, decent camera.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think a lot of people think they need a DSLR camera. They need like all of this equipment. And I think that's kind of like their like, well, I can't do it because I need But it's a total lie.
Yep.
I could literally... One day, Danny, I took one of those VHS ones. Ones.
Yeah, I saw that video.
And I did a whole video on one of those, like just prove a point that you can't do it even with like
an
old
80s
cameras,
camcorder.
like 80s camera recorder. You can do it. But the phones allow you to be, anybody to be essentially a YouTuber. I would say the, it's just the leap that they got to take to just kind of, and then the consistency.
Absolutely consistency.
Yeah, because like if you don't have consistency,
you got to find, if you want to be a YouTuber, you have to find something you're passionate about.
There you go. I totally skipped over that step.
Yeah.
Find what you're passionate about.
Yes.
So I think for me, it was like, I kind of want to go to these cool places, have fun, and then kind of have like things to look back at. You know what I mean? And that's why I started the YouTube stuff, is because I was like, I want to go, because like I thought to myself this, I was like, okay, if I had like $1 million or millions of dollars.
Yeah, so that I didn't have to work.
I didn't have to work. What would I do? You know? And then like this idea popped in my head and was like, well, you would want to travel around, go to cool places, have fun and this and that experiences and this like that. And then I was like, well, maybe I skip getting the millions. You know?
Yeah. Let's forget that. Just do what I want.
Yeah, just forget the whole getting the millions. We just go to like what I would do when, when I just did it, It was just basically, I was like, I'll fake it till I make it.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things, you
Dude,
know?
Arnell has one of these days you need to interview yourself
Interview myself?
in one of these, because you have one of the most fascinating
rise and ups and downs, kind of.
I remember you did a TED Talk.
Oh, yeah. I did a TED Talk.
It was
a
awesome.
TEDx Talk, you know?
Yeah, TEDx Talk.
Yeah,
you did another project that I remember you doing. You just were always doing something cool. I remember going to your house once, and you were building a full Iron Man
suit.
armor.
Yeah, I'll flash that up on
out of paper. I think
it was kind of like foam. It was called Pepakura.
Yeah, it was insanely cool.
It's so cool because like you can just print these out and then you can just cut them and you glue things together and then you make a 3D object itself. You know?
And that's cool. But then you also started production on Bugs. Bugz.
Yeah, because I misspelt it. That's how I thought, and I was like, I like this.
Yeah,
I like how it is. Maybe I'll flash that as well. You know what?
Came up with? Did you write the story and everything?
Well, it was more kind of like I found some writers. Right.
That's
so I had writers helping me out with this. So first came up with like an outline what essentially happens. So the way you do a whole script is like first you come up with an outline, then you and I still have this script that what I've learned.
I wonder if I still have my copy.
From
our reading.
That reading is available on Amazon Prime.
What?
Yeah. It's on Amazon Prime. I'll send you a link.
Yeah,
and you can
watch that with my kids.
Yeah, you can watch it with your kids. And we just pushed it out. I pushed it out like a real movie, but it hasn't made like millions or anything like that. No,
that's okay.
But I just wanted
it. It's out there.
So my whole goal with the whole Bugs was like I was really all into
Pixar.
Pixar. I was like obsessed with Pixar. I was like, this is my dream. I want to work for Pixar and so forth. But then I think later on, as I realized, it's like, this would be a desk job, 3D modeling.
And your things. 3D models, you actually had a website where you were teaching people.
Oh yeah, I was teaching people how to 3D model. There was like these
amazing
tutorials. I would people like
you had a transformer on there.
Yeah, like
Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime. And I was showing how to model Pixar characters. I was all into showing people how to 3D model and so forth. That's where that whole thing came about. Was like, I kind of want to just make my own movie itself. It was just telling a story and so forth. But I realized that to make a movie to Pixar quality, you need millions and millions of dollars. There's no way of just doing it yourself. So
it's getting easier and easier.
It's getting easier and easier.
I've seen some incredible things coming out. But this was probably 15 years ago?
10 years ago, maybe. I would say.
It was a while ago.
It was a while ago. Maybe we'll flash it up. I was in the newspaper for that. I'll just flash some stuff as we're talking about this right now. Look at this.
Either way, I was impressed that Arnell always had something amazing going on that I was like, how did he even think of that? Yeah.
Well, yeah. So now that I work for Visit Southern Idaho, we were doing, the whole lighting stuff, light shows, this and that. So
in a few words or in a few sentences, tell us what the light show was or what this project encompassed.
Well, we did if you ever looked at Niagara Falls, they have like this multi-million production over there. We basically did that here in Shoshone Falls.
And what is it? It's like
Shoshone Falls After Dark. We're like, there you go.
Shoshone Falls After Dark. And you use lights to light up.
Yeah, those lights. You see those lights over there in the back?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
so those are the same lights that illuminate Niagara Falls. So we just basically, we have like a light show synced up to music and stuff like that.
Incredible.
We do like projection mapping. We do pixel mapping. I don't know how I got into this. Is like a whole new hobby. Pepakura into 3D modeling and this.
Yeah.
I'm like a jack of all trades.
See, I can't wait to see what you're doing next week. That's what I'm saying. Arnell's been, it's been a lot of fun to watch you go from where, and again, you were probably weren't you right out of high school then?
Well, I would say
when you were at KRS?
Pretty much, yeah.
Right out of high school, all the way up to like doing some of the funnest, coolest stuff here in Twin Falls. Arnell has his hands in. He's just really he's a good person to have on your team.
Yeah,
because he's a get things done guy.
Get it done.
Yep.
Get it done.
Get her done.
Get it done. Yeah, I like to. I don't like to be confined in a box. Like I do one thing. Mm-hmm. Like we're doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Like think about that. That was just kind of like I like that. And then what I do is I just figure out what is necessary to go ahead and pull that off. And then I just do it.
Well, and that's another, this part, you'll probably have to delete all of this. This might be boring to everybody else. But that was even doing a podcast. People have been doing podcasts for a long time.
Yeah.
I've been impressed with your approach to how you did this podcast and how professional it was just from the beginning.
Yeah.
I've really loved the people you've had on. And part of that comes from the trust that people have in you because of your past experiences.
Yeah.
But then you come on to do the podcast and how you've got it all set up. It's just, it's very impressive. I'm impressed.
It looks like a really nice, legit set and everything like that.
Nice
like
black wall.
I painted all of this, Danny. A lot of this stuff is like thrift store. Danny helped me out with some of his little props and stuff like that. This is Danny's stuff.
That's our stuff.
I got some sound blankets. Yeah, it's like the thing is, it's like I would say this is kind of like I'm doing all kinds of fun stuff that I want to do, which is kind of really cool. And I think that's all everybody's kind of like dream. They want to just be able to do whatever they want. And this is a sweet gig. I get to talk to people and interview them, and I learned so much about you. We didn't even go about these questions.
I know. I'm so sorry.
You're like, maybe we skip these questions. I think this is good, but let me kind of. Should I throw some of these at you?
Yeah, let's do a 2-minute speed questionnaire.
Speed questions.
I'm ready.
Okay. We'll start
2-minute
these again.
speed questions. Whew.
How much money would make you happy, Danny?
$5.
$5?
Yeah, I'd go buy a energy drink right now, and I'd be happy.
What's one thing you've been really disappointed you never got an experience? You're like, I wanted to do this.
Probably. That's a really good question. Oh, I'm not making this very fast. I don't know. There's nothing.
Nothing. You're like, I've done.
I've got everything I've wanted to do. That I'll do it, or
I'll do
in the
it.
process.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Do you collect anything?
Yes, I collect cameras, pens. I really like pens. I collect junk. My garage is full of junk. But those are a couple of things that I like. Yeah.
Do you have a memorable sunset? You're like, this was the best sunset ever.
Oh, probably. Nope.
Nothing. You're like,
I can't think of any sunsets.
Up.
Every sunset with my wife is wonderful.
What about the future are you most excited about?
So crazy enough, my brain doesn't go into the future as much as it should.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking about this year. I'm just excited for work.
Yeah.
And what we're going to be doing this year.
Oh, and I forgot. So we need to mention plant therapy. So now this is where you currently work out right now.
Yes, plant therapy.
Plant therapy. And plant therapy is kind of like essential oils.
Yes, they sell essential oils direct to consumers.
Gotcha. And then you do all of the video production over there. So if you see like any kind of like ads on Facebook or things like that, you're basically their go-to guy. And I think that's like,
they treat me really good.
Yeah. It sounds like they've got the winner here. You know what I mean? These are some crazy ones. Not really that crazy. Have you researched anything that you thought was so fascinating?
Oh yeah. The other day I was just researching headphones. I love headphones.
Oh yeah, you're like, what are kind of these headphones? You
know?
Like you got to tell me some good headphones. These are these are very cheap.
Audio Technica, right?
Audio Technica.
These are great.
Audio Technica is pretty good. You know.
Yeah. So like headphones and music and sound. Loved that.
Was there a specific turning point in your life, Danny?
Yes. Yeah, it was when I had that nervous breakdown.
And then you're
huge pivot point in my life.
Yeah.
I've learned. I
did not realize. What did you learn out of that?
Well, I learned that being anxious all the time isn't normal. So if you're feeling anxious, or I didn't feel like I was depressed. I was just anxious. I always felt like something was. I was just always anxious.
Yeah.
And so my body was always in a fight or flight. Learned that wasn't normal.
Yeah.
And was able to get help,
so that way you're not feeling that,
and totally changed everything.
Change your whole life. Yep. Wow, there you go.
We're turning point. See, that was easy.
Yeah.
Let's do 5 more.
5 more. Okay.
5 more quick ones. I'm using up all your questions, though.
I know. Okay, here's a good one. I remember this one. This was what conspiracy do you think has merit? Like you think is like, maybe this could be real. You have any conspiracy?
Yeah, this is gonna make me sound crazy. But
okay, this is what we want.
Probably that there's people pulling strings. There's really smart people out there pulling strings that that are in the shadows.
Invisible.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that they're pulling all the strings.
Yeah. Well,
I really believe there's.
Yeah, that's totally for sure a real thing.
I'm one of those crazy guys that are like, oh, there could be somebody's out there trying to.
Somebody's pulling the strings behind the scenes, and you don't even know it. Yeah. There's so many questions here. I wish I asked all of these, but maybe we'll have to do this in another time.
Oh yeah, we can do another one.
What is something you're afraid to try? You're afraid to try like base jumping, skydiving?
Probably. Man, that's a good question. Probably like tattooing.
Tattooing, yeah, because that's permanent.
Or being a doctor. Something that like has blood, that would be hard.
What was the best thing that happened to you last year? And we're talking about like 2021.
Oh, that one's a really good question and a tough one.
Yeah.
Probably my kids. So my two older kids moved out of the house because they weren't too happy with me, and because their birth mom lives here close by. They are in Utah. They were able to go move in with her.
Okay.
The best thing that happened was they came and visited for Christmas. That was one of the best things,
nice.
and we had a really good time.
And then here, we'll do this one as the last one. Who's the most interesting person you've met?
Oh, you. For sure. I didn't even have to think about
I
that.
I set you up on that one.
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about, Danny? Like, do you think we glazed over anything else? Because I know you got to go back to work.
I do have to go back to work.
You got to go back to work.
They're going to be
like, where the heck is he at? Why is he like?
Why is it? And then they'll watch this and they'll be that's why.
Oh yeah, we need to throw more plant therapy. Go buy some plant therapy essential oils. Check out the website. Is there anything you want people to come knowing from this website, from this podcast? What do you think?
I think the thing that I hope everybody comes away with is that if you're passionate about something, find a way to include it in your life. And passionate, not just passionate, but something that brings you joy. If you find something that brings you joy and that you're passionate about, you'll be able to make a living.
Yeah.
And even if you're doing it on the side, you might have to get a job at Blip Printers doing Blip Printers wasn't bad, but I mean doing something that you really don't have an interest in, working at a place like that, but then do the stuff you love on the side until you're able to make it work.
That's it. There it is, Danny, right there. We're gonna close off on that. Follow your passions, people. Do whatever. Yeah, do what makes you happy, and then life is easy after that.
Yeah, dream big. Don't be afraid to dream big.
Yeah, dream as big as you can. Anything is possible. You just got to figure out how to actually do it. Pull it off. And it's the little steps too. It's not like a overnight thing.
Oh yeah, you're not making putting lights up on.
You're not putting Shoshone Falls right? Like overnight.
Yeah.
And it's like you got to figure things out or so forth. So yeah, I think that's good. I really like this. I learned a lot about you and how you progressed and so forth. And make sure maybe you'll send me some of your other stuff as well too.
I'll see if I can find.
Because then I'll show them you remember this commercial. And then I'll be like, remember this one or this one? And then people are like, oh my God, that's Danny.
Yeah, they're really old. If there's people that are still alive that remember him, it might just be the two of us.
Yeah,
I remember that one.
I remember that. All right, well, that's it for today's podcast. And we're going to call it a good here.
Hasta luego.
All right, we got it, Danny.
Well, thank you.
That was fun.